Hey everyone, and welcome back to another World of Warcraft video. The patch 7.3.5 PTR just released, and it contained a rather unexpected addition, a whole bunch of new allied races stuff. Now, it also contained the leveling revamp, which I did a video on, but YouTube fell to pieces, so there's a good chance it did not make it to your sub feed, so you can check that out. Now then, the allied races stuff. We actually are now seeing a good look at their armor, their racial mounts, their customization options, their racial abilities, and a few other things. And yeah, they actually do come with mounts, as it turns out, which is something that Blizzard had not mentioned about this system, and something I'm pretty happy about. So today we're just going to be previewing all of this new content, and trying to work out why the hell it's even on the PTR of 7.3.5. Let's just touch on some of the practicalities. So the dev post stated that with Battle for Azeroth development being in full swing, some of the allied races stuff has made it into this build. This seems odd to me, and it's definitely led to a lot of speculation that allied races, or at least the first four, will release with patch 7.3.5. I think this could actually be the case, and if it was, it would be massive for the game. Having the allied races combined with the leveling revamp would be the ideal way to keep people interested in the game until Battle for Azeroth actually releases. That said, these have been sold as a Battle for Azeroth feature. Normally new races are tied to owning that expansion, so I guess here's my thought on it. I think that these would be, if they are going to come out early, they're going to be a pre-order bonus that's unlocked if you pre-purchase the new expansion. That's just speculation, of course, but it seems like a reasonable course of action that they may take, and it does sort of fit what we've seen in the PTR today. Okay, let's talk about the allied races now. Questlines for them have been data mined. I don't want to do spoilers in this video, so we're going to skip over that. Let's first do the mounts. So the Lightforged Draenei get themselves a new Alec mount that's themed after the Army of the Light. And you know, it's nice enough. It's an Alec. We've seen plenty of them, so let's just move on to the Void Elves, who probably come off the best here, getting themselves a brilliant-looking Void Chocobo-looking thing. It also, you know, I think it looks great in motion, especially with all the Void effects pulsing through it. Overall, just the Void Elves themselves are great visually. The combination of their heritage armor, their color scheme, this mount, their hair effects, all that stuff, I think it's just going to look thematic as hell. Now, the Highmountain and Tauren actually get their own moose. We've seen plenty of these mooses before, so it's not massively exciting, but hey, there you go. And same for the Nightborne, who get a Mana Saber, which seems like an unarmored version of the one that you would have gotten as a reward for completing the patch 7.1 Nightborne questline. Now, you'll notice that the Dark Iron Dwarves and Zandalari are not actually here in this build. Well, the Zandalari coming before battle would make really little sense, and then the allies, the Alliance, getting 3 races while the Horde only get 2 doesn't seem super fair, so I would imagine that the Dark Irons are being held back for that reason, and that they are something that we'll see when the expansion actually comes out. Now, the only allied races who can be druids, other than the Zandalari trolls, of course, are the Highmountain Tauren, and you will be pleased to hear that we get a new set of druid forms. These are mostly just variants of existing ones, but they're putting on those new antlers, which of course really are what make the Highmountain stand out. We see some new color patterns and things like that, but what's really cool is their new travel forms. So the land travel form is a moose, which is looking pretty damn majestic, and the flying one is a really big Highmountain eagle, like the Skyhorn ones that we would have seen, which, yeah, pretty great. I think overall it's a very strong flavor of a druid, so that's definitely nice. Next, let's take a look at their heritage armor sets. We finally actually got a look at the Lightforged one, and yeah, it's great. It's a mix of what we've seen before, but it's got those big epic Turalyon-like shoulder pads that people have really been pining for. Of course, you won't be able to wear them on a non-Lightforged Draenei character, of course, but still, it's pretty much a good fit for the ultimate Lightforged Draenei Paladin. Next, for the Void Elves, well, they've pretty much got one of my favorites. They've got these really epic-looking Void wings. Something I think just looks great, matches the Void Elves themselves perfectly, of course, but especially also matches with their mount. Now, I'm not 100% sure how active their Void effects are going to be outside of combat, because it seems like some of that is a combat-activated thing, but we'll have to see when it's actually something that's playable. Now, the Nightborne and Highmountain ones look great, but they are very much based on sets that we've already seen in the game but just haven't been able to wear because we haven't really been able to play as either one of those sub-races. We've also found out quite a bit about the new racial abilities. Now, I'm just going to cover the interesting ones here, but you'll see everything on the screen. So, Void Elves get a teleportation mechanic that seems rather similar to a monk's transcendence, plus they also don't have their spell casts delayed by taking incoming damage, which actually seems like a really powerful and useful kit to have. Lightforged Draenei Draenei get Light's Judgment, which is basically just the first Vindicar ability, but probably a little bit weaker. They also have an interesting effect that causes damage to all enemies and healing to all allies when they die. So yeah, it's a bit of an odd one for the Lightforged. Now, Highmountain get Bull Rush, which is a 1.5 minute cooldown charge that also knocks down the enemy. So that seems super powerful, probably great for PvP, and they also get a bonus to meat and fish, so I guess this would make them very strong gatherers, especially as a druid. Then for the Nightborne, they can summon in a mailbox, they can dispel illusions, which seems to just remove stealth effects on characters within 15 yards of them, and they can also model swap with another Nightborne by using Masquerade, which I suppose is something they've just sort of thrown in for a bit of fun. Now, the Dark Iron racials have appeared in this build, but only the names, not the effect so far. It's a bit odd. Doesn't really matter though, because these guys seem to be coming at a later date, along with the Zandalari Trolls. Next, let's take a closer look at the models and customization options. So the Nightborne look pretty damn great, and I'm really glad that they've managed to make them look quite different to the elves that we've already seen in the game. That's something that's super important, because they're basically doubling the amount of playable elves in the game now. The color palette, of course, it looks sufficiently different from the Night Elves for, at least for me to think there's a bit of a, a nice differentiation between them. They've got sort of harsher lines, they're a bit more stern and serious looking. Overall, I think, yeah, a very worthy addition. Now, when we move on to the Void Elves, a lot of people just sort of thought, oh, they're just regular Blood Elves. Not really when we actually see them. So different hairstyles, slightly different in terms of just their model, their posture, all of that. Now, their hair is a bit, it's a bit more wavy, right? It's, it's got some very different colors to what we would have seen previously. A bit more of an emo thing, but you'll really notice is the pulsing void in their hair that's like flowing with energy. Very unique, very cool indeed. Now, both of these races are technically, they're just tweaks to existing elves, but I think the models do actually feel pretty different, on a similar tier to how a Demon Hunter very much did feel different to a Night Elf or a Blood Elf, and you've got to wonder if what they learned doing a Demon Hunter in terms of the model kind of, made it into some of the allied races. Now, the Highmountain Tauren are something we've already covered in a video, and yeah, it's mostly just regular Tauren, a few new skin colors, new antlers, and those red markings. Of course, they do look great. They've got the big majestic antlers. They really outshine the bull horns of the regular Tauren, of course. And it's mostly the same sort of situation for the Lightforged, which we've already taken a look at them on the model viewer, though it certainly is great to see more horn and hair options be added, but it's kind of funny. These guys almost feel like just a flat upgrade over the regular Draenei than being a kind of side grade, so that's a bit odd. But there have been some changes to Stormwind and Orgrimmar in this build, so you'll notice there are two new embassy buildings. These are where you will find the quest lines to unlock each of the allied races. In Stormwind, it's over in the park area just outside the city walls, and in Orgrimmar, it's where the goblin slums were. Each one of these has a bunch of leaders from each faction, and you'll notice that a few of them have new models. So Sourfang's got that really cool model that matches the Battle for Azeroth cinematic, so that's great to see. And then Bane Bloodhoof and Nathanios also have, or Nathanos even, both have new models as well. And we also see like Gallywix in his new sort of really fat model that they added a while ago. So yeah, these embassies, the way that they're adding these embassies, it almost makes me think that just, as they add more stuff to the allied race system, we'll just see more and more quest lines and stuff pop up at the embassies, probably over the patches and stuff of Battle for Azeroth. I do have a planned video coming up for that. I have bumped it back about 2 weeks in the schedule though, because I don't want to oversaturate you with this video and then like another one in 2 days about potential ones. So yeah, there you go. That is what's up with the allied races. Overall, I'm surprised this is here in this patch. It definitely makes you think that it's going to be a part of Battle for Azeroth, but a part that arrives with a pre-order bonus into the live game. And my thinking for that is, well, with Battle, it seems like because the beta hasn't happened yet, a lot of people, myself included, think beta will happen in January. That does mean that, because the beta of Legion was very shortly after BlizzCon, right? So it seems like this expansion may be a month or two behind the schedule of Legion, which maybe is meaning we're getting like an end of September, October, sort of maybe even November, whatever, release date, which is quite a bit into next year. And I would imagine then that putting some of the allied races in and the leveling revamp, if that was to come in say Q1 of next year, that would help to tide people over. Then assuming the pre-patch, maybe they really go all out and have the pre-patch be a month and a half before the expansion launches. Maybe they could be smart and use that to still keep interest in the live game. Certainly having these new races be added with the level scaling, combined with people then pre-ordering the expansion, it would be good for Blizzard's financials for those quarters. It would be good for players being able to actually have something to do in-game, because trust me, when I've been playing the leveling in the PTR, it truly is way better. I know a lot of people are concerned about, oh, it'll take longer to level. Yes, it will. But it actually functions as a video game that's fun. So yeah, that's my thoughts anyway on all these systems. Thank you very much for watching this video. Let me know what you think about these new additions, and I'll see you next time.